Hello, Internet, and welcome back. This one here is my review of everything that Cobra Kai got wrong from a martial artist's perspective. First and foremost, if you haven't seen my What Did They Do Right video, please go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. What they got wrong had a lot to do with the All Valley Tournament, this whole concept. If you think about this, the All Valley Tournament is a local tournament. It's in their valley, their area, their immediate area. Well, guys, I got news for you. There are dozens and dozens of local tournaments every single month, all over. And it's not that big of a deal. It wasn't a national tournament. It wasn't a world championship or anything along these lines. And on top of that, it's an under 18 All Valley tournament, meaning essentially it's a kids tournament. Now, that doesn't mean that there are no kids tournaments, but that's not how most tournaments work. There are occasionally kids tournaments, but I find it hard to believe that Daniel LaRusso has been riding the success of his 2 championships of the All Valley tournament under 18 for the last 32 years. That seems a little bit excessive. The people in the Valley follow high school sports and beyond that, high school martial arts competition that closely. And by the way, what happened to the other 32 champions between now and then? I just thought it was pretty funny that he's this like local celebrity based on nothing more than his high school karate victories. It's so funny. Besides, I thought that the original tournament in the original movie was supposed to be more of a personal victory for Daniel. He was conquering his fears, he was standing up to the bullies, and he was proving to himself and to everybody else that he wasn't scared and he wasn't going to turn and run. And then they turned it into this big, giant sporting event where he's this local celebrity. He's based his whole business on it, his commercials for his auto group and all these other things. And it was really quite silly. Real karate tournaments don't work that way. You do have a lot of local tournaments. You also have, nationals and international tournaments. You have many different governing bodies for these things as well. But you typically will have age divisions from, 4 and 5-year-old kids all the way up to what we call the old man division, which unfortunately is my division these days, where you're 35 plus, or depending on how they break it down. So it's really not how karate tournaments work. On top of that, in both the movie and the new TV show, they don't divide the divisions according to belt rank. They don't divide them according to gender or to age. In most all-point karate tournaments, you will find those divisions. In the Cobra Kai series, you have a girl fighting in the boys' ring. In fact, she seems to be the only girl competing, which is also unrealistic because I'm sitting here right now as a female black belt in multiple martial arts, and my student body is actually divided pretty much 50-50 between boys and girls. Also, you had a little 12-year-old kid fighting like a 17-year-old and just royally got his butt kicked, and it just wouldn't happen like that in real life. On top of that, youth point karate is not full contact. That's something that's driven me crazy for many years, that the original Karate Kid did as well. It is controlled contact. You can be disqualified if you cause redness, swelling, or bleeding, if you make the head snap back, or if you knock somebody out, you can be disqualified. Also, point karate tournaments have been using safety equipment since the 1970s. Gloves, boots, helmets. Heck, even the UFC uses mouthpieces. But none of these things are evident in the show. It's really quite ridiculous if you've been around the karate community for any amount of time. It's laughable. I kind of was hoping that they would actually at least put on some boots and gloves to stay with the times. Maybe not helmets if they want to keep it dramatic. But there's none of that. Not even a mouthpiece. Conor McGregor wore a mouthpiece when he was fighting with Mayweather. But anyway, the other thing that I thought was hilarious is this series is supposed to take place over the course of one school year. In the beginning, Miguel, Johnny Lawrence's first student, is hopeless while he's hitting the Bob dummy, the body opponent bag. He has no idea how to stand, how to make a fist. He's hopeless. And a school year is around about 9 months. So you're telling me within 9 months, he's wearing a white belt the entire series. And then at the tournament, suddenly he and all of his hopeless, nerdy classmates are all decked out in black belts. You never see a black belt, or you never see a belt test, period. You never see any intermediate belts, nobody with a yellow belt, nobody with a brown belt. And the original Karate Kid, when you go to the Cobra Kai dojo, you see brown belts as well as black belts. It existed. We all know that Mr. Miyagi kind of stole the belt from the referee in the original movie, which was sort of a joke because Miyagi didn't believe in belts, but everybody else did. And so it was very annoying to me that you have all these kids wearing white belts throughout and no belt tests. Everybody's a black belt now. So that's what they got wrong. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. It would really help me out. And if you like my content, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/JulianaHolmes. Thanks. Talk to you in the next one.